Welcome to the most important Android phones of 2018. The rumours around the Samsung Galaxy S9 and Galaxy S9 Plus have been coming thick and fast over the past months, and now it's time to see which are true at Mobile World Congress. At first glance, you'd be forgiven for thinking you were looking at last year's flagships though. Samsung says that the S8 was its most popular Galaxy design ever, and so the S9 consciously iterates on that rather than embracing change for the sake of change. The S9 sticks with the 5.8-inch Quad HD curved Super AMOLED display of its predecessor, and the Galaxy S9 Plus with a 6.2-inch version of that screen. Now, though, they're 15% brighter than before. Both phones are a little shorter than last year's flagships, but wider and heavier. All the same, they look and feel sleek and smart, even if they're a little slippery with it. More importantly, Samsung has addressed some of the more vocal complaints about the S8, like moving the Fingerprint Reader from its annoying location next to the rear camera, and putting it underneath instead. It's much easier to reach there without smudging the lens in the process. Another improvement is stereo audio, with the speaker on the bottom edge joined by the earpiece speaker during music playback and gaming. The AKG tuned speakers are 40% more powerful than on the S8 too, and there's Dolby Atmos surround sound support both with and without headphones. Other changes are sensibly evolutionary. Qualcomm's Snapdragon 845 is at the S9's heart, with 4GB of memory on the S9 and 6 on the S9 Plus. They're still IP68 water and dust resistant, still have microSD slots which now support up to 400GB cards, and still have that all-important 3.5mm headphone jack. They even keep the same batteries as before too, 3000 mAh on the S9 and 3500 on the S9 Plus. Both have fast wireless and wired charging, the latter using USB-C. Biometric security, however, has been revamped to combine both iris and facial recognition into a single, better system that Samsung's calling Intelligent Scan. The big change, though, is to the camera. For a start, the Galaxy S9 Plus gains a second telephoto lens, just like the Note 8 acquired last year. More impressive still, both the S9 and the S9 Plus have a twin aperture lens on their main 12-megapixel camera. Samsung is calling it Super Speed Dual Pixel, and it can mechanically flip between an f1.5 lens for low light situations and an f2.4 lens for brighter scenes. You can let the camera make the decision itself, or switch between them manually in Pro mode. Samsung claims the result will be fewer overexposed daytime shots, but much brighter low light scenes. In fact, it's promising 28% more light can be captured compared to last year's S8. The sensor also gets a chunk of its own memory too, which Samsung is using for a supercharged version of HDR. By taking 12 pictures in rapid succession and then combining them all, the S9 offers 30% less noise than in a Galaxy S8 image. The same memory also paves the way to a super slow-mo mode, capturing at 960 frames per second. Get the framing right, and the S9 promises to automatically start recording when the action happens, whether that be a confetti cannon or a baseball hitting the bat. The 8-megapixel front camera's party trick is AR Emoji. Samsung's take on the iPhone X's Animoji goes beyond a gallery of preset characters and makes one from your own face instead. You can customize it with different hairstyles, glasses and other features, and then animate it to your own expressions. They're fun, though like Animoji I do wonder whether they'll have long-term appeal once the initial gimmick has worn thin. The same could be said for Bixby, of course, though Samsung insists that the virtual assistant is here to stay. It still gets its own dedicated button on the side, and a mode of its own in the camera app. That's for the new real-time translation feature, which supports 54 languages and 63 currencies. Show Bixby a foreign sign, and it promises to translate it right in the preview display. At least that's the theory anyway. Don't expect a slick virtual translator quite yet. The other big change with the Galaxy S9 is around DeX. Like the S8 and the Note 8, you can dock the S9 and S9 Plus and turn them into a desktop PC replacement. However, there's a new docking station, the DeX Pad, which now leaves access to the speakers and headphone jack while the phone is in place. It also puts a virtual trackpad or keyboard onto the S9 screen, in case you don't have USB or Bluetooth peripherals to hand. The S9 and S9 Plus can drive a 2K display now, as well as the original Full HD mode that last year's phones offered. It's a testament to Samsung that, 12 months on, the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus still hold up well against the phones we've seen launch since. Samsung's approach of addressing owner criticisms with the S9 and S9 Plus, therefore, and refining what has already been shown to work, makes a whole lot of sense. The relocated Fingerprint Sensor, Android Oreo out of the box, and speedy Snapdragon 845 with its gigabit LTE support are all polish where it counts most. There's a refreshing absence of gimmicks too, though time will tell whether AR emojis are more than just a passing phase. You'll be able to try them out for yourself anyway. The Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus go up for pre-order on March 2nd and then ship out just 2 weeks later on March 16th. Consider this the gauntlet being thrown down for every other smartphone launched in 2018.